Long ago, there was a dark forest known as the Wild of Howling, where the air was filled with the whimpering winds that sounded like ghostly screams. Giant trees wrapped themselves together like tangled arms, completely blocking out the sunlight, even in the middle of the day. The forest held an aura of terror, and residents in nearby villages whispered that it was haunted by monsters unlike any creatures known to man. There was a legend about a monster called Nectaris, a hybrid between a wolf and a snake, with eyes that glowed in the dark and teeth as sharp as knives. Nectaris was considered the guardian of the forest, but he didn't protect it from humans. Instead, he lured them in to become food for himself and the other monsters that dwelt in the shadows. The forest was full of natural traps, trees that moved to trap victims, deep pits filled with poisonous scorpions, and a thick fog that blinded anyone who tried to escape. In a nearby village, there lived a young girl named Cecilia. She had always heard about the forest and about people who had entered it and never returned. But Cecilia was impetuous and didn't believe in superstitions. She decided to prove to everyone that the forest was just an ordinary place and that superstitions were nothing more than stories to scare children. One moonlit night, Cecilia carried a lantern and a small knife and crept into the forest. At first, everything was quiet. But after a few steps, she began to hear strange whispers following her from every direction. The trees seemed to move behind her, and branches stretched out like fingers trying to grab her. Suddenly, she heard the sound of heavy footsteps approaching. When she turned around, she saw glowing eyes staring back at her from the darkness. Cecilia ran as fast as she could, but the forest seemed to change around her. The path she had come by disappeared, and she found herself surrounded by dense trees. Then before her appeared Nectaris, a huge monster with shiny black skin and red eyes that spit out sparks. Its roar was like thunder, and its fangs dripped with poisonous saliva. Cecilia tried to escape, but the monster was faster. Nectaris leaped in front of her, enveloping her with his tall body. Before she could scream, he disappeared into the darkness, never to be heard from again. From that day on, the forest of Howling became even more terrifying. Residents claimed to hear Cecilia's screams at night and that Nectaris's eyes glow in the darkness, waiting for her next victim. No one dared approach the forest after that, which became a place of horror and unsolved secrets.